The DC English Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the DC English Podcast, the place where you learn real, natural American English with confidence. I am Nora.
And I am Noah. Hello, everyone. Please excuse me if I sound a little out of breath today. I have had a very, very stressful morning.
You really have. Our listeners can't see you, but you look completely exhausted. You are drinking a massive bottle of water. What exactly happened to you this morning?
Well, as everyone knows, the summer weather here in Washington, D.C. is incredibly hot right now. It is sweltering outside. And while I was driving to the studio today, my car completely broke down in the middle of the highway.
Oh no, that is terrible. Sweltering is a great word for our listeners, by the way. It means it is so hot that it is almost hard to breathe. It is uncomfortably hot. So your car broke down in sweltering heat?
Yes, smoke started coming out of the front and the engine just stopped. I was stranded. Stranded means you are stuck somewhere and you cannot leave. I had to wait on the side of the road in the hot sun for an hour until a tow truck finally arrived to take my car to the mechanic.
Wow, I am so sorry you had to deal with that. But I am very glad you're safe and you finally made it to the studio.
Thank you, me too. I drank 3 cups of cold water as soon as I walked in. But earlier I said I have had a stressful morning. And when I said that, I realized it's the perfect introduction for today's English lesson.
You are so right. Even when your car breaks down, you are still thinking about teaching English. Yes, today we have a very special, incredibly useful topic. We are going to talk about a specific type of grammar called the present perfect.
The present perfect. That sounds a little bit complicated and formal. Is it difficult to learn?
Not at all. In fact, it is one of the most common ways native speakers talk every single day. It's actually very easy once you understand how it works. The present perfect is simply a bridge. It connects something that happened in the past to how you feel right now in the present.
A bridge between the past and the present. Okay, I'm ready. How do we build this bridge?
Well, let's use your terrible morning as an example. You said, I have had a stressful morning. The structure is very simple. We use the word have or has plus a special form of an action word called a past participle.
Right. So for me, the subject is I, then I use have, and the past participle of the verb have is had. So I say, I have had a stressful morning.
Exactly. The stressful morning happened in the past, an hour ago, but the result is in the present. You are sitting here right now feeling tired and thirsty. The past connects to the present.
I see. The result is that I'm exhausted right now. That makes perfect sense. Let me try another one. I can say, I have drunk 3 cups of water.
Perfect example. The action is finished, you drink the water in the past, but the result is in the present. You are not thirsty anymore. The verb is drink, and the special past participle form is drunk.
Exactly. And for our listeners, it's important to remember the rule for the first word. If you are saying I, you, we, or they, you use have, like I have eaten, or they have started.
Yes, and if you are talking about someone else, like he, she, or it, you use has. For example, if I'm talking about you, I can say, Noah has fixed his car, or she has finished her homework.
Exactly. Now, there are regular verbs and irregular verbs. Regular verbs are very easy. We just add the letters ed to the end. For example, the verb check. I can ask you, Nora, have you checked your email this morning?
Yes, I have checked my email. I did it right before we started recording. I just added ed to make it checked. Another regular verb is clean. Yesterday, I cleaned my kitchen, so today I can say, I have cleaned my kitchen. The result is that my house looks beautiful right now.
That is a great feeling. But what about irregular verbs, like my example? I have drunk water. We don't say drinked.
Right. Irregular verbs do not follow the ED rule. You just have to memorize them as you hear them. Drink becomes drunk, make becomes made, and eat becomes eaten.
It takes a little bit of practice, but it gets much easier the more you listen to English. Actually, speaking of practice, our listeners are practicing right now just by being here with us.
They really are. Our listeners are dedicated. And honestly, if you're listening right now and you want to truly master this grammar, the best thing you can do is join our community and subscribe to the channel. It costs absolutely nothing, and it tells YouTube to share these lessons with more people.
That is a very smooth reminder, Nora, but it's true. Hit that subscribe button. And because irregular verbs can be a little tricky to remember, we actually made a special gift for you today.
Yes, we did. We created a free downloadable PDF guide that lists all of the important present perfect verbs we're using today with their simple meanings. You don't have to write anything down. You can just click the link in the description below and download the PDF for free.
Perfect. Okay, let's take a quick break. When we come back in part 2, we're going to learn 3 magic words that make the present perfect sound incredibly natural. Yet, already, and just.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking about the present perfect. We know that it connects the past to the present. Now let's talk about 3 small words that native speakers use all the time with this grammar. Yet, already, and just.
Okay, let's start with yet. We use the word yet when we are waiting for something to happen, usually in a question or a negative sentence. For example, Nora, have you eaten lunch yet?
Great question. No, I haven't eaten lunch yet. I am actually getting a little hungry now.
See, I expected you to eat lunch today, so I asked, have you eaten lunch yet? And you used the negative form, I haven't. Haven't is just a short, fast way to say have not.
Exactly. Now, what about the word already? We use already for something that happened sooner than we expected. For example, Noah, I know your car broke down this morning. Have you called the mechanic yet?
Yes, I have already called the mechanic. He's looking at the engine right now.
Wow, you are fast. I have already called. That is a great example. You did it very quickly. Okay, what about the word just?
Just is my favorite. It means something happened a very, very short time ago, maybe 1 or 2 minutes ago. For example, my phone vibrated a few seconds ago. I can say, I have just received a text message.
Perfect. It is very recent. I can say, Noah has just drank some water. It happened 1 minute ago.
These 3 words make conversations flow so nicely. Let's practice a little more. I will ask you a question, Nora. Have you read a good book this week?
No, I haven't read a book this week. I haven't had the time yet. But I have listened to a fantastic educational audiobook about history.
Oh, an audiobook. That's a great way to learn while you're walking or cooking. The verb is read, and the past participle is also spelled R-E-A-D, but we pronounce it differently. We pronounce it like the color red. I have read. English is funny sometimes.
It really is. Okay, my turn to ask you a question. Noah, have you made any plans for the weekend?
Yes, I have made some plans. I have planned a beautiful hike in the mountains with some friends. We want to get out into nature and get some exercise.
That sounds wonderful. The verb is make, and the past participle is made. I have made plans. Okay, I have one more very important rule for our listeners. It's the difference between the words gone and been.
Oh, this is a very important rule. A lot of English learners get confused by this. What is the difference between gone and been?
It's actually very simple. Gone means you went somewhere and you're still there. You have not come back. For example, if I ask, where is the mechanic? You would say, he has gone to the auto parts store. He is still at the store.
Okay, so gone means you are still there. Then what does been mean?
Been means you went and you came back. It's a completed experience. For example, I can say, I have been to the supermarket today. It means I went to the store, I bought my groceries, and now I'm back home.
Amazing. That makes so much sense. Gone means you are still there. Been means you went and came back. So if I ask about your life experience, I use been. Like, Nora, have you ever been to Italy?
Yes, you are asking if I visited Italy and came back. And yes, I have been to Italy. The food was amazing.
See, that is so useful. And you just used another great word, ever. We use ever to ask about someone's whole life experience. Have you ever traveled alone? Have you ever eaten sushi?
Exactly. And if the answer is no, you can use the word never. For example, I have never eaten sushi, or I have never driven a car in the desert. It means in my entire life, I have not done that.
This grammar really is a bridge. It connects all of our past life experiences to who we are today.
It truly is. And the best way to build that bridge is to practice it out loud. So it's time for the most important part of our episode. It's time for our shadowing practice.
Yes, shadowing is the secret to speaking English naturally.
If you're new to the podcast, shadowing is very simple. I will say a sentence from today's lesson using the present perfect. Then I will pause. During the pause, you must repeat the sentence out loud, wherever you are. Try to copy my exact speed, my pronunciation, and my emotion.
Please do not just read the words quietly in your head. You have to speak the words out loud to train your mouth muscles and build your confidence. Are you ready? Let's begin. Sentence number 1. Listen closely. I have already called the mechanic to fix my car. Let's try that one more time. Try to copy my rhythm. I have already called the mechanic to fix my car. Great job! Now for sentence number 2. Listen first. I have just finished reading a great book. One more time, nice and smooth. I have just finished reading a great book.
Excellent. And the final sentence, this one asks about a life experience. Listen closely. Have you ever been to a beautiful mountain? Last time, speak clearly and with confidence. Have you ever been to a beautiful mountain?
Amazing work, everyone. Shadowing is not always easy, but it really trains your brain to use grammar naturally without overthinking it.
It is so true. Practice makes progress. Thank you all so much for joining us on the DC English podcast today. We hope you learned how to use the present perfect to share your daily experiences.
And remember, if you enjoyed today's episode, please join our team and hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to click the link in the description to download your free vocabulary PDF so you can practice those irregular verbs.
Yes, and before we go, we want to hear from you. Go to the comments right now and practice what you learned today. Answer this question. What is one productive thing you have done today?
I love that question. You can write, I have cleaned my room, or I have studied English. We can't wait to read your answers. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye, everyone. Keep practicing.